Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Welcome sa 6th episode ng Kapihan with my sis, ang talk show ng Kababaihan. Ako si Nat. Hello, Carrie?
Yeah, hi. Yeah,
Hi.
magandang hapon po. Ako po si Carrie and welcome po ulit sa Kapihan with my sis. Hi,
Yes,
Naj.
welcome po. Hi, Carrie. Good afternoon. It's good to be back sa ating Kapihan. Napansin mo ba na may bago tayong music? It's actually really cool. Yan ang ating theme music ngayon. Composition yan ni Jayus, especially for Kapihan. Yes, and talented composer talaga siya. So, thank you, Jayus, sa aming bagong theme song and theme music. Go ahead, Carrie.
Alright, si Jayus. Have you seen his videos? May mga music videos siya sa Facebook. Pinopost niya. Pero anyway, kaya pala ganda at iba ang music natin ngayon. Very uplifting. So, thank you, Jayus. And just like you, Naj, I'm very happy to be back dito sa Kapihan natin dahil mainit na ang usapang politika. Ang topic natin ngayon ay kababaihan at politika. Marami na ba o konti pa rin ng mga kababaihan na sumasalang sa politika? Yan ang isa sa mga katanungan na sasagutin natin ngayong hapon sa ating kasama ng ating special guest. And as usual, meron pa rin tayo, makakasama natin ngayong hapon din si VP Lenny through her own segment, ang VP Lenny's Time.
Yeah. Excited na akong actually pakilala ang ating special guest. Siya ay isang very popular TV host at columnist at isang ginagalang na ekonomista sa bansa. Isa din siyang educator on top of the many hats na kanyang ginagampanan. She has been a recipient of numerous awards for both teaching and broadcasting. Best known as Mareng Winnie among her media followers, let us welcome Professor Solita Monsod. Magandang hapon po, Professor Monsod. How are you?
Good afternoon, Nadja. Good afternoon, Carrie. Nice to be
Good afternoon po.
Ang ganda lang inyong topic, women in politics.
Yes po.
Salamat po, ma'am.
Yeah,
welcome po sa Kapihan. We're happy to have you with us. Napakarami pong gustong itanong sa inyo tungkol sa kababaihan at politika. Lalo na ngayon, no, mga panahon ngayon talagang mainit yung diskusyon. Pwede ba talaga mamulitika mga kababaihan? Pero ang first question ko po, ma'am, sa kasalukuyan po, gaano na po kalayo or kalaki ang naaabot ng kababaihan ng Pilipina sa pakikilahok sa larangan ng politika?
Well, alam mo, kung babasihan natin ito always with data, no? Kasi mahirap na, you're saying something that is not backed by data. But according to our statistics, Philippine statistics, in 2019, ang the number of women politicians, women who are in politics all over, hindi lang parliament, it's about 21%. And ito, 21% of all the politicians in the Philippines are 21% are women. And kung ikukumpara natin sa what was the case in 1998, mas maganda talaga because we were about 11% lang in 1998. Okay? So the women participating have increased in government, who have been elected have increased. Ayon ang basehan ng sinasabi ko na we have gone a long way. But as far as the world is concerned, we're about, average for the world.
Pero parang kulang pa rin, no? Kasi 21%, parang ang baba pa rin niya. But it increased.
That's about 1 in 5.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
And in the Philippines, 1 in every 2 people are women. So talagang malayo pa ang gap. If everybody has an equal opportunity and equal access, there should be actually half and half.
Yes.
All right. But that's not the case. Pero sinasabi niyang mga eksperto na the minimum, yung critical point, is about 30%. If you can get 30%, you can start making a difference na. I mean, you can start making yourselves felt na.
Yeah.
30% ang minimum.
Ma'am, to think, yung 21% na yon, malamang marami yung mga, yung mga hindi pa masyadong matataas na positions. Kasi like in Congress itself, parang...
No, actually, let me make sure that we understand ourselves. Actually, in the Senate, we have 7 out of 24.
Oo nga, no?
Yes. Really, I mean, actually sa parliament natin, malaki ang representation ng women. In other words, in the national parliament, meaning the Senate and the House of Representatives, mga 28% in 2019. At talaga, right? Doon sa bumababa kung mga governor, mga mayor, mga as
Sanggunian, yung mga board members.
Yeah. Hindi ko alam. I forget the parliament of the local parliaments. So as far as our parliament is concerned, medyo mataas, because now is the only time we have had 7 women at the same time
in Senate.
In the Senate, 28%. Ayan. And since the national average is 21%, that means mas mababa ang participation ng women sa the other
branches,
the other branches, the other levels of government.
Ito nga, ma'am, yung 30% na yung sinasabi ni ma'am na 30% to make a difference.
That is the critical. Ayon sa mga eksperto, to make it, because actually it should be 50%.
Yes.
So the minimum acceptable, parang critical mass. Now, after that critical mass is achieved, then it will be much easier. Is 30%.
Yeah, so another 9% more and ma-achieve natin yung at least yung minimum. Pero interesting, yes. Interesting talaga ang ating topic. Kaya, so to continue po, pakinggan naman natin si Miss Jamila from Iloilo nang tinanong natin siya kung dapat ba na pumasok ang babae sa politika. So we're gonna show a video clip of that real quick.
According to our Islamic teaching, women can exercise political leadership, but among women only. But because we belong to a Christian and democratic country, women are accepted to run in political race due to strong democratic and type of government. At kung tingnan natin naman sa ating history, marami namang babae na may malaki ang papel na nagawa sa ating nasyon. So siguro wala namang problema kung ang isang babae ay pumasok sa politika. Kung meron siyang good intention para makatulong siya sa kaunlaran ng ating bayan at magiging good influensya at magiging good leader siya sa mga kababaihan. So siguro yun lang ang masasabi ko. Assalamualaikum.
Right? Ang ganda ng sagot ni Miss Jamila. Pero parang dun sa sagot niya, no, parang marami pa ring barriers, no?
Yes,
Marami pa ring
marami
barriers
talaga.
sa mga babae. So, Prof. Monsod, ano po yung mga nakikitang hadlang? Or meron po bang meron po bang studies dyan sa kung ano po yung mga hadlang para sila'y tumakbo o makilahok sa halalan? Kasi when we talk about political, mas yung pag-pursue ng isang political position, eh. Diba?
Yes.
Not necessarily just being involved in politics, diba?
There are 3 hadlangs. There are 3 M's na hadlang. Ayon sa mga eksperto, they've gotten this from studies that have been done all over the world. The barriers to women in politics are 1, money, 2, media, and 3, men. Ayon ang 3 barrier. For any woman to get into the politics, 1, she needs the money. 2, there must be media, not help, but focus on the problem, on why women should be in politics. And the 3rd, of course, is men. Men don't like women to be in politics. Tignan mo naman ngayon, anong sabi ng mga presidente natin, whatever, saying that a woman's place is in the home. Naku, Diyos ko po.
Napaka-backwards naman ng gano'n.
That's the kind,
right?
But that's the kind of culture that we have, and it's not only for us. It is worse in the Middle Eastern countries.
That's right.
But it is pretty bad in the Philippines, especially with the current administration, which has always been talagang ang sama ang pagkatrato sa women. Yung kabastusan sa women, yung kung woman ka, ang dami-daming ginagawa sa iyo, hindi ba? The women in media, the women in politics, the women in other executive positions and judicial positions, they've had a hard time of it this past 5 years.
Yeah.
Played
It's a
up din
little rough,
kasi yung sobrang played up din yung stereotyping, no? On how they deal with the women who are in public, in the public,
Gender stereotypes are always, that's why you say the men. That's the hadlang is the men. They say, oh, the women should be here, or the women should be in the bedroom, it should be in the kitchen, etc. And unfortunately, Carrie and Nadia, a lot of women believe that.
Yes.
So
That's
it's
true.
actually,
Yun pa naman ang ayaw na ayaw ko.
stereotypes.
Yung stereotype na yan.
It's us women.
Yes. Yeah. And ayaw na ayaw ko yung stereotype na yan, honestly. So, pero Professor Monsod, bakit po ba ang mga kilalang kababaihang aktivista ay bihirang tumakbo o kumandidato?
Ay, tignan mo na lang kung saan galing ang mga most of the women activists. Hindi ba? Sa mga economic positions which are low income. Right? Or they come from middle income or low income. Money is the biggest. And second, especially now in the current situation, the activists are being targeted.
Yes.
No,
yes.
That's why I tell you it's very bad. The situation for women is relatively bad now compared to 6 years ago.
And ma'am, di ba? Hindi naman dahil sa hindi sila interesado I think. Kasi pagka pinag-uusapan mo yun sa mga communities, pag nakikipag-usap ka doon, ang humaharap sa'yo mas kababaihan kesa yung mga kalalakihan doon Sila yung involved, di ba? Sa ganon. Pero hindi nga umaakyat doon sa level na, di ba, yung tatakbo or di ba, magiging, di ba, to be a public.
Siguro yung mga kanilang organizations meron rin gender stereotyping.
Meron din po yan.
Of course. Pabayaan mo ang mga kababaihan to face the music, and but when it comes to elected positions, palagi sila ang pati party list. Nakita ng saliksik ng the situation in the Philippines, in the party list list of candidates, a female is very seldom on top, unless of course it's a woman's group, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
But a female
Unless
is
na,
seldom on top. Yeah.
unless na very controversial yung female na yon, hindi siya nabibigyan ng enough attention at enough support, kumbaga. So,
Senatorial.
Yeah. And even
Mhm.
sa even yung sa pag 'di ba, even yung women, usually they're from kumbaga from dynasties. They come from political families as
Yeah.
well, 'di ba? Sila yung naisasalang. May ganung mga may ganung phenomenon din.
For example, our current vice president, she would never have
Mhm.
gotten into politics
Yes.
if
Yes.
Jessie were alive. You know,
Yes.
I mean, it's not that I'm saying it's better that Jessie were dead, but I'm saying she was forced to go into politics because everybody was saying ikaw na ikaw ang na, and then when she went into politics, ang galing-galing pala niya.
Yeah.
Kumbaga
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
before siya pumasok, parang it's not written in the stars for her, di ba? Tapos biglang eto, di ba?
Tignan nyo ang ginawa ni Lenny. She came in without money, but what she substituted for money was her time. She was up at 6 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning, and up to 12 o'clock at night she was outside. She tried, talagang she had a very difficult time. Diba?
She's very
money. Alam mo sa politika natin sa Pilipinas, men don't give to women candidates. Nakikita ito ay based on studies. Women get much less than men as far as contributions for electoral positions are. It's part of the stereotyping, I guess. Men don't think that women should be in politics. Di ba?
Yeah.
I think sometimes they feel threatened kasi nga, look at Lenny. Masipag and very skilled siya talaga. So, can you imagine?
But Nadia, and Carrie, when you look at what is happening now, would you want it's very difficult for a woman to run now. As a matter of fact, in 2019, only less than 19% of the candidates were women.
It's pretty low.
Pero meron akong good news sa inyo na nakita ko.
Yes.
There's 19, 18, 19, 20% of candidates are women. But the people who win, there are relatively more women who win.
Yes.
In other words, I'll show you the data, no? I lost it. But it said, for example, in 2016, 19% of the candidates were women, but 21% of the elected officials were women. So they had more chance of winning. So that's I did not know that until I looked at the data in preparation for this.
Higher yung batting average, kumbaga.
I got to tell this, and this is true for every election we have had since 1998, because that's all the data I could see up to 1998.
Parang trend siya, ma'am, from 1990.
In other words, the number of women, the percentage of women who win electoral positions are greater than the percentage of women who are candidates.
Yeah.
That means a woman candidate has a greater chance than a man of winning in the Philippines.
So yan,
Yes,
pwedeng motivation. Pwede siyang motivation ngayon para tumakbo mga kababaihan, ano? Pero speaking of motivation, no, pakinggan po natin si Miss Esther as to what will motivate her to enter politics.
ako ang tatanungin, what are the motivating factors para pasukin ko ang politika? Number 1, full implementation of the anti-political dynasty bill. Bakit? Para equal footing ang lahat ng kandidato at para patas ang laban. Number 2, creation of campaign funds for women aspiring candidates belonging to the marginalized sectors na walang pera pero magaling. Number 3, inclusion in our electoral system of the mandated code of conduct which will disqualify candidates for committing a violation before and during the election. I know that this is quite idealistic, but these are my primary considerations in deciding to enter politics. Because without these policy reforms, useless lang ang kumandidato ka na alam mong sa umpisa pa lang talo ka na, knowing how our political system works.
Yeah. So tama rin naman si Miss Esther sa mga diskusyon. Professor Monsod, nasan po ang mga kabataan, lalo na ang mga kababaihan sa usaping politika?
Well, alam mo, that's also another good news that I have to share with you. Yung ating kabataan, I mean, as far as the sanggunian kabataan is concerned,
Yes.
you know, that's where there are more women. 35% of the women,
That's good.
35%, that's the highest it is. You know, you have 28% in the Senate. In the sangguniang kabataan, 35% are women. So that is talagang good for future, because these women are going to hopefully go into higher political office, like in the barangay, and then maybe in mayoralty, and then governorship, whatever. But as far as the kabataan is concerned, the sangguniang kabataan composition tells you that 35% are women.
Yeah. So that is good. At least it's above the minimum.
No,
At least 5% above,
No,
di ba?
it's-
Umakyat kahit pa paano.
but that's pretty good, because 21% overall. But
Yeah.
for the women, for the kabataan,
Yeah.
always talking about data. All right. I mean, this is what the data show. So, and why do girls do better in the sangguniang kabataan? Well, because it's less money involved, and they're much more hindi pa sila na i-influensya ng gender stereotyping, or mas konti na lang ang gender stereotyping sa kabataan.
Hopefully, ma'am, it's the second one.
Yeah.
We're raising a new generation of
Whatever it is, it's good news.
Yes,
That's a good sign. But you have not asked me why women should be in politics.
Yeah, bakit nga ba, ma'am?
I mean,
Importante.
alam nyo kasi, ang priorities ng women, ito ay kita sa mga saliksik, ha. Ang priorities ng women, different than the priorities of the men. You see, the priorities of the women are, for the individuals, the households. Kasi ayan ang alam nila sa education, in health, that's where they shine. That is so good. I mean, the only gentleman, the only senator, we called him a woman senator, was Raul Roco.
Yes.
Because he had the women in politics, I think, act or something in 1992. That's why we need women, because we need different perspectives. The men,
That's right.
the men I mean, it's shown in our economic studies, no? For example, if a woman is the head of the household, ibang-iba ang expenditures ng household, kasi if a man is head of the household, a woman being a head of the household, there is more that is spent, for example, on community community activities. More is spent on human development things like education and health. Less is spent on tobacco.
Actually,
Yeah.
ma'am, di ba?
Exactly.
Less is
Kaya
spent on tobacco.
there were actually a lot of discussion.
I mean, this is true. I mean, I'm
Yes.
not talking about. I'm not making kuro. This is what the studies have shown. So that's why you need women in politics, because they give. You have a woman, for example, you have a woman in a negotiating table. It's
Yes.
more peaceful negotiating. That is
Yes.
what I am quoting from studies.
So, pero may
I-
tanong lang po ako, Professor Monsod, kasi you mentioned yung isa, ba, sa sangguniang kabataan, 35% ay kababaihan. How many of these women go to other positions in politics po?
That's not. It's not shown by the studies. It's not shown.
Okay.
I don't have any study to show. We should actually have that. The political scientists should actually track what is happening to the young folk that start politics. I'm sorry, I don't have any data
It's
for
okay.
that.
Curious
Ewan
lang
ko-
po. Sa,
Ewan ko kung nai-inspire sila o nawawalaan sila ng gana. Don't you think that's a good study?
Yeah, that's a good study po, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
I think
ma'am,
Carrie had a question.
yeah,
too.
and going back to, it's more of a comment dun sa sinabi ni ma'am, no? Yung why women should be in politics. Naalala ko nung early on with this pandemic, di ba? There's a lot of discourse about how yung mga countries, yung mga states na babae yung nasa helm ng leadership were actually performing better in terms of coming up with policies dun sa pandemic response.
No, really,
Alam mo, tama ka. It's so
that
true.
is absolutely correct. The New Zealand Prime Minister, the
Yes.
German Prime Minister, etc. They were
Taiwan,
they-
di ba?
Yeah.
that
Taiwan
shows
definitely.
you talagang ibang isip eh. They are more practical ba?
Pati yung approach, yung kung paano makipag-usap sa sa constituency eh, 'di ba? Iba yung pag yung babae. Kasi parang mas may compassion and mas
Prime Minister
Parang
Mark,
mas parang kasi, di ba, parang more nurturing kasi
Yes.
ang mga kababaihan. So yeah.
well, yeah, that's true. Pero sabi talaga yung very very great woman politician si Margaret Thatcher of Britain said, if you want something studied, you give it to the man. But if you want something done, you give it to the woman.
Yeah.
and
But isn't it true?
Yes.
Diba?
It's true.
Wala
I
na
agree.
ng women, basta they want to do something, they go towards it, and that's it.
Yeah.
Diba?
and the epitome of that is about to give us her message ngayong hapon. At this point, pakinggan po natin ang message ni VP Lenny sa atin ngayong hapon.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello ulit sa mga sumusubaybay sa Kapihan with my sis. Binabati ko rin ang special guest ninyo for this episode na si Professor Winnie Monsod. I hope you are all safe and well. Napakahalaga na napili ninyong topic ngayon, kababaihan at politika. Nakikita natin how women are claiming their space in leadership during the gravest crisis of our time. Sa New Zealand man o sa Taiwan, maski dito sa communities natin, women are stepping up and redefining what strong and competent leadership means. Sa gitna nito, hindi rin natin maitatanggi na napakarami pang kailangang gawin to achieve gender balance in politics. Sabi nga ng COMELEC, from 1998 to 2013, mahigit 80% ng elected officials natin ay lalaki. Noong nasa Congress ako, I worked with 60 sister legislators while the men numbered 174. Alam natin ito. There are structural forces that influence such figures, and the work continues to reassess and where necessary, dismantle these structures to truly achieve a regime of gender justice in governance and leadership. On top of this, nakikita din natin ang pagka-gendered ng politika sa panahon natin ngayon. Madalas na i-equate ang pagiging strong leader sa brashness at aggression, with a loud, domineering style of leadership that disempowers and frightens others into silence. Pero may mas mabisa at mas makataong paraan para magpakita ng lakas bilang leader. It is by nurturing and empowering others to become the best version of themselves, channeling strength without bluster, in a manner that is firm yet dignified, compassionate and empathetic, and thrives quietly yet decisively amidst adversity. Being a leader is hard. As a woman, I can say that it is doubly difficult. Marami pa ring dikta ang kultura at lipunan. May mga nagsasabi na hindi tayo handang mamuno kasi babae tayo, that we are not tough enough. To use my own experience as an example, being a woman has paved the way for a lot of vicious attacks. May mga nagsasabi na mas mabuti pang sa bahay na lang ako, na hindi ko kaya ang trabaho dahil byuda lang naman ako ng asawa ko. Pero gaya ng lagi kong sinasabi, we cannot let these whispers hold us back and pull us away from the path of authentic service. Minsan may mga alinlangan tayo. Minsan may mas madaling landas. Pero kapag tinawag na tayo para maglingkod, gaya ng kahit sinong may malinaw na konsensya, kailangan nating tumugon. Kaya ang hamon ko sa mga kababaihang kasama natin ngayon, continue to challenge the way things are. Huwag matakot. Do what can be done here and now. Maging matapang sa pagtindig para sa kapwa. Create more spaces for other women to thrive and succeed. Keep moving forward with your heads up, with back straight, with voices firm and hearts open, so that we can inspire more to rise to the moment. Kasama ang kababaihang liberal, tiwala akong abot kamay ang mundong minimithi natin. Maraming salamat, mabuhay kayong lahat.
Napaka-inspiring ng message ni ma'am. Para siyang battle cry. Parang
Yes.
sugod mga kapatid. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. Pero yan, given that, siguro pwedeng tungtungan yan. Pero Ma'am Winnie, ano pa po kaya ang mga paraan upang makumbinsi ang mas marami pang kababaihan na pumasok sa politika? You think na parang paano natin sila mai-inspire to be more tawag dito, na mas maging involved?
Well, what we should do, maraming sinasabi. First, I don't think we have to inspire women. If we just talk to them and say you can do it, and you will be contributing relatively more to the political environment, I think they're willing to do it. Hindi naman sila sa ayaw nila. It's just that family situations prevent them. Hindi ba? The money situation, I'm telling you, the money and the men, ang hadlang, money, media, and men. Lahat ng masasabi mo, it will be put under any of those three. And what is the answer? There's got to be cooperation, community support, community and cooperation. It is needed. So ito masasabi ko lang, Number one, to get more women, especially now, kasi ang konti-konti hanggang, according to the studies, women will not get up to 50% until 2080 or something like that, at the rate the countries are going now. But what helps, and this was very, very can definitely be seen in the Middle East, ang nangyayari is nagbibigay sila ng mga quota. They have gender quotas. And this used to be done in Norway, in Denmark, who now are very high as far as women participation is concerned, in France, in Europe, and in Africa, naku, lahat. Tayo, hindi pa tayo nag-gender quota. Actually, meron na tayong batas. I mean, the local government code, 1991 pa yan napasa, ha? Sinabi ng local government code, the sanggunian, yawan, sanggunian, the local sanggunians, provincial, municipal, etc., had to have a woman sectoral representative.
Yes.
That has not yet been done. Kasi wala pang, enabling law na napasa. All right?
Opo.
We don't have gender quotas. Temporary lang yan eh. So that, mafuwersa yung mga political parties natin na kailangan, at least 40, and at most 60% should be women or men. But it should be more equal. And the only way that can happen if you're going to have gender quota, kailangan meron kang incentives. Hindi ba? Or, kung ayaw nila yan, tayong kababaihan. In other words, the government does not do anything, the men don't do anything, wala na ba tayong magagawa? Aba, hindi, that's not true. We can network among ourselves. All right? Yes. We can form a woman's fund, a campaign fund, everybody contributing a little bit. Hindi ba? I mean, in other words, we do not need to have the laws passed by our men and our and somebody else. We can take it into our own hands.
Yes.
Yan ang empowerment natin eh.
Yes.
Kasi alam mo, Najaline and Carrie, my husband always loves to have this quote, the only thing that, the reason why people have no power is because they think that they have none at all.
Yes.
In other words, the thing that is preventing them from going out and exercising their power is the thought that they have none. It is, in other words, the problem is within the individual.
Yes. That's
and
right.
I think the women are in a better position than most, really.
Yeah.
I would love to have a women's campaign fund.
Yeah.
Right? If the quota system does not work, etc. Kasi ayan ang first problem, hindi ba? Money. All right?
Yeah.
The quota system, well, let's go and get our own money. Last elections, the presidential elections in 2010, there was an association, hindi naman association, but networking. Sinabi na the power of 9. In other words, 9 people come together, and I'm talking about women now. 9 women coming together, and they say, we're going to contribute X amount of pesos from now till election, to a fund for women who do not have money, for women who deserve to be there, etc. Diba?
Yeah, that's an interesting concept.
Hindi ba?
Yeah.
We can do it. Why do we have to wait for a man to say anything?
Exactly. So, exactly. And Professor Monsod, your responses are brilliant. And you're very funny too, actually. Pero maiba naman po tayo. Alam ninyo, kilala po ang inyong iwas kalimot tips, di ba? So, ano po sa mga brain exercises ang pinaka-paborito ninyong gawin at bakit po?
Okay, a favorite brain exercise is called, really, there is an app. I don't know whether you call it an app or something. It's called Lumosity. You can. I don't know whether you pay for it. I don't think you pay for it. Well, anyway, and it has different tests, all kinds of.
Wow.
My favorite tests are always 1, numbers, math, 2, logic, because it helps you to exercise your cognitive abilities. Kasi sabi nung Nobel laureate in economics na si Daniel Kahneman, you have 2 ways of making a choice. one, you have a system 1 and you have a system 2. The system 1 is, instantaneous, spontaneous, because of, from experience, etc. Very fast. And then there's a second system in your brain where you make a decision slowly. You look at the costs, you look at the benefits. It's slower, but it's much the better. And so I want to I want to practice that. So you do logic, ayun ang ako logic and math. Oh yeah, I like also yung English.
Yeah. So for me naman, my favorite brain exercise is chess kasi it keeps you on your toes and
That's not an exercise, that's a
natututo ka
game.
mag-strategize. But it's kind of an exercise. I look at it as an exercise. So para sa akin, it's a type of exercise. So para kasi na ma-practice yung isip mo na mag-strategize, ma-anticipate mo yung next move ng
Ang ganda lang chess talaga.
opponent mo. Yes. So yeah. How about you, Carrie?
Ikaw, do you actually compete in chess?
With chess?
Yeah.
When I was young, I did.
Why
And I
not?
also
Why are you
I
not
also
doing-
play Scrabble.
Ano?
And I used to play Scrabble tournament also.
Scrabble.
Noon. Yes.
Oo.
Pero hindi naman siya parang brain exercise na rin siya kasi it's practicing your skills. Ano pag nakuha kami mga malalaking word points na word. So,
I never
Yeah.
learned chess. What I do
oh,
is play bridge. It's also it all requires logic. Chess requires tremendous logic.
Pang Queen's Gambit pala tong si Nudge eh.
Huh?
Pang Queen's Gambit pala si Nudge.
hindi na. Pero ikaw,
I
Carrie,
never
ikaw,
learned. Sayang ha? Maybe there's
madali
still
na
time.
po.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
bakit
pag na-meet ko po
continue?
kayo, turuan ko po kayo. So, pag nakita tayo, sige, turuan ko po kayo.
I really look at. There's another one, backgammon. That's also-
Backgammon. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but
Pero-
here, go to the computer, sasabihin mo, testing. So they have 5 tests, and then you do it. And then you can compare yourself with the rest of the people who are doing it, your age group, etc. So you have an idea. Ako nakapunta na ako sa ang rating ko went up to 1180. Ngayon nasa 1140. Medyo bumababa yata yung brain cells ko.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but it's fun though. Pero Carrie, ikaw meron ka bang favorite na yeah,
Well,
brain exercise?
I kind of keep sabi nila reading daw eh. Reading keeps you, keeps your brain healthy, basically. Pero I love Sudoku. I do Sudoku a
That's what
lot.
I do every day.
I love Sudoku. I kind of got addicted to it somewhat.
One
And
day,
then,
every day.
Ma'am, if si Ma'am Winnie is doing luminosity, I have this app,
No, it's not luminosity, it's lumosity.
Lumosity. I'm sorry.
Lumosity.
I do peak. Yung peak every day, bibigyan kanya ng 5 exercises, ng parang puzzles,
Yes.
iba sila. Tapos
That's your work.
tas,
That's your workout for the day.
Yeah, it's
Nasa
nice.
computer ka.
Yeah.
I do it just to make sure that my brain is exercised because you exercise, you walk, etc. You have to exercise your brain
That's
also.
right. Boggle,
Yeah.
yung boggle din, di ba? Ang fun nun eh.
Boggles. Kasi lalo
Miski
may
domino
time limit.
Di ba, miski domino?
Yes, dominoes din.
Yes.
I used to play that when I was a lot younger. So,
You need to.
pero
Yeah.
yan, so fun. Anyway, ma'am, ang saya-saya nung kwentuhan ngayong hapon. Sobrang kulang po yung oras natin. Pero,
I know.
Professor Monsod, sobrang thank you po for gracing us this afternoon and sa inspiration po na ibinigay ninyo sa amin ngayong hapon. Parang, napaka-hopeful ng discussion natin ngayong hapon with Professor Monsod.
Of course. If in other words, when the women when the going gets tough, then the women should start getting to go. Di ba?
Well,
Yung,
The going
oo
gets
nga po.
tough, women must get going. Ayan ang aking last,
Tama.
last message.
Yeah.
Di ba?
O nga po, Professor Monsod, baka nga dahil nga baka makumbinsi po ninyo si Kari na tumakbo sa next election, di ba? So, yeah, encourage niyo po siya.
Kari? Well,
Yeah.
why not?
Di ba?
Why not?
Why not, di ba?
And I'm not talking about, election to national office. Why don't you start, working in your barangay first? Alam nyo that barangay is the most, that has the most potential, because after all, the crime occurs in a barangay, everything occurs in barangay, etc. And yet, palagi nating, parang walang visa yung barangay. We have to grab. That's why the
Opportunity where we can, right?
35%. We should all go to the barangay. So Najalin, my time is gone, but your time, is coming if it's not already here. So you don't have to go far to run.
Yeah.
You just
Picking
run
up,
But you've been an inspiration to us, Professor Monsod. Thank you so much po.
and picking up from what Professor Monsod said, di ba? We always look dun sa higher posts. We always look at the national. But tama si Ma'am, politics is essentially local. That's where everything happens, di ba? So, important talaga siya. Anyway, Ma'am, Professor Monsod, thank you po ulit. Maraming
Thank you
salamat.
po.
enjoyed our talk, Najalin and Carrie.
Me too.
And I hope
Me too.
your program
Salamat po.
gets more and more women interested, and they learn how to do it.
Yes.
Okay? Thank you
Ma'am,
very
Thank you
much.
po.
We hope we can have you with us again. So, at dito po nagtatapos ang isa na namang episode ng Kapihan with my sis. And please be sure to join us. September 15 po ang ating susunod na episode ulit. Ako po ulit si Carrie.
And ako po si Naj.
At maraming salamat sa ating mga viewers sa inyong pagtatangkilik. And maraming salamat po, Professor Monsod. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
Okay.
Magandang hapon po.